Bastamkele Kunkubi to EVOB Voice of the Bay. Good afternoon and welcome to your favorite talk show. That is your VOB with myself, Percy M. Lamani. This afternoon, I will be hosting once again Mr. Monwabisi Eric Tiso, who is a head of planning and operations under safety and security in the Nelson Mandela Bay municipality. Another guest, it will be Mr. Unathi Luhlemos, who is the CEO or owner of Lumo Businesses. Once and for all, at about 20 minutes before we wrap our show, I will be with Mr. Nkululeko Mantana. Mr. Nkululeko Mantana, who is our political analyst, will be talking more about the death and the people who will be succeeding Francis, who was the Pope at the Vatican City. But for now, allow me to welcome Mr. Eric Monwabisi Tiso of Nelson Mandela Bay. Mr. Tiso, masikwamkele kwakho. We last spoke before the Easter weekend. How are you, sir?
Fine, man. Let me take this opportunity and greet you and your listeners. Otherwise, I'm fine.
Mr. Tiso, I don't have much time, but we would like you just to give us a summary of what has happened during the Easter weekend, because I have seen in some of the reports, the stats that across the province, about 286 people were arrested under the offense of drinking and driving. But for Nelson Mandela Metro, we would like to know how many people who were arrested.
Okay. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Nelson Mandela Metro, I will say this Easter we did very well. We have 19 people, 19, that we have arrested for drunk and driving, which is a very good number, but we are not happy with how I wish we could be 0, and then I will be happy. But it is a number of people that we have arrested on the public road. As I have said before, people tend to think that we become happier once we arrest more numbers. The less numbers we arrest, the better we feel. The more numbers we arrest, the bad we feel, because it means then the people do not listen. So once we get less, we are extremely happy. How we can reduce that number to 0, then I will be extremely happy, because that will mean the people are getting the call, people are understanding all the campaigns that we are busy with, that we say drink and driving. You have to check yourself before you get into the vehicle using disposable breathalyzers, which we are always sharing those ideas with the people in terms of roadblocks or vehicle checkpoints, but I don't like the word roadblock. I say vehicle checkpoints. In the churches which we have visited, as well as the malls that we have visited, as well as the taxi rank that we have visited. So it hit at least a good results, but it does not mean this is the end. Now I have to plan and work harder so that the next coming holidays we have less than what we have. Then, because planning in terms of drunk and driving is that whatever you have now, you must plan to reduce it more. It's not that once we go out in numbers, we are looking for our brothers and sisters just to arrest them. No. That is why even when the sisters are drawing blood, and then once they are done, and you have a person with you in the vehicle, you share your ideas with this person. Typical example, when you arrest a young guy, he will say, how old are you? Typical example, he will say, I'm 22. You say, okay, I'm sure in your life you would love to be something in future. Then he will say, yes. He said, are you aware now you are going to have a criminal record, which is going to be a stumbling block into the success of your future? And then she said, hey, I didn't think it that way. I said, yes. Because now once you are caught drunk, that's a criminal record. You've got a job that you are applying for. And then once they find out that you have a criminal record, they easily say, sorry, we're not taking you. For a simple thing you could have avoided by checking yourself before you operate that motor vehicle on the public road. So those sessions, then they bring at least something into the brains of those who are listening. That I didn't take this thing seriously, but now, as I am told, I think I must step off. And then sometimes, yes, we all learn by mistakes. Others under duress, that I'm having stress, I want to relieve stress in this fashion. Others, their friends are saying, why don't you drink one or two? I mean, it's not going to cause you any harm, but it can kill you. You can have that criminal record. You might lose that job that you are looking for. Remember, every time you go to court, the case is postponed. When we arrest you now, you will be given a date that you must be in court in this date. Then it's postponed for another date. It's postponed for another date. Now, even your employees who are going to ask, your employer, by the way, will ask, but you asked last time you want to go and this time, what exactly is happening to you? Now, can you see now you are jeopardizing what you already had and you put it on thin ice? So that's why we say improve. We can all make mistakes, but learn from them. If
Correct.
you cannot learn from them,
That's true.
then it is something that have to do with the mankind. I cannot go into one thing over and over. There are people, but which you shall not believe this. We arrest a person twice a day. The same person.
Twice a day.
Twice a day. This person is taken in, and then after 4 hours, let's say this person has been given a bail of 500 rand. Then he paid, then he's out. He goes and drinks. Let's say we arrest this man in the morning. And then by 8, 9, at night, he says, stop the car. There is the same person. Then you ask him to blow over the limit. And then you say, and then? You can't come and tell me, no, I'm busy with the divorce and what. No. That's an excuse. That's an excuse which is not acceptable. Whatever problems that you have, it does not mean they are going to vanish if you are drinking and driving.
Thank you for giving us that little bit of education around drunk and driving offense and its consequences.
Exactly.
Again, we are facing another long weekend.
Yes.
This coming weekend.
Yes.
We've got only 3 minutes before we go for an ad break. Another tips for this coming long weekend, Mr.
Yes. But Percy, first thing first, respect yourself. Before you can expect somebody else to respect you, you must respect yourself. Once you dress yourself and you look yourself into the mirror, you must say, I, Percy Lamani, I'm not going to be caught for drunk and driving. I will not compromise my family, my career, my life because of a bottle. Hence, the minister says, it starts with you. If you have that self-introspection, then you are going to assist this country to grow. But if you don't have that self-esteem about yourself, who is going to take care of you? The only thing that we are going to do when we arrest you, you will read the old newspaper. Even if it's 1976, it will be news to you. I'm telling you. And there's something funny about a person who's caught for drunk and driving. You know, sometimes when people are caught and then they go into jail, they will always say, bring me milk and brown bread. And nobody will ever say, bring me KFC. Because you need something that is going to stay too long in your body, and then you must stay strong.
Let's leave it there, Mr. T. So we will go for a commercial ad break. By the way, you will remain Mr. Moss. Anati Lohle will join us just after the commercial ad break. Let's go for a commercial ad break. Nkosikakhona siyanamkela kwi-inkqubo yethu i-VOB Voice of the Bay. Once again, welcome to your favorite talk show, that is your VOB on channel 260 in Pumakapa TV layer. Now we are joined by Unathi Luhle Moss, who is the owner of Lomo Business. This company is working very closely with the Department of Safety and Security under the stewardship of Mr. Eric Tiso. Mr. Lomo, in fact, Mr. Unathi Luhle Moss, siyakwamkela mhlekazi.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, Ted.
Mr. Tiso, welcome back once again, and thanks for joining us in these two segments that we will be talking about your collaboration with Lomo Business as the traffic department.
Thank you very much.
Mhlekazi Moss, just
Yes,
briefly tell us about Lomo Business and what you are doing and how you were inspired to save lives on the road.
So Lomo is a distribution company, and it started in 2020. Started trading in 2020, distributing disposable breathalyzers. Now, the disposable breathalyzers, we were able to supply Transnet during COVID because of the PPP, as well as people can't use the calibrated breathalyzers because of the contact yomlomo and zonke. So breathalyzer is self-test disposable breathalyzer kalumo yona. It can eliminates that interaction where you'd have to swap and change those pipes that you breathe through.
Okay.
That is when we were able to first start getting the company going as well. And then now I took over and joined Lomo in 2023.
Yeah.
And then I was fortunate to start working with Mr. Tiso. And we were doing campaign activations right through and through between Transport Month in 2023 going over to 2024, as well as Easter. And we've been going to schools, we've been going to churches, we've been going to offices, trying to make sure people are aware about a product. And so from there, we started working with Mr. Tiso, as I mentioned. And after that, we have been just making sure that the purpose of Lomo is to raise the awareness of drinking and driving.
What happened before? What motivated you to come up with this concept? I understand you were at the university. You were a student at that time. What happened?
I was involved myself in a car accident in 2022, January. And I went out with Ichomizam, and before Nangene Motweni, I had to rush to the airport the next day. So before I had gotten into my vehicle, I had used this breathalyzer to check if I can operate a vehicle, and which I could, and I passed the test. So I got into my vehicle, and Imotoyam rolled 3 times. And by the grace of God, Nesnyanya as well, of course, they kept me safe, wearing a safety belt. I wasn't driving at a high speed. And so after that happened, that whole incident, I realized that this product actually, because if I would have had my drink and another drink and be over the limit, saying like with the insurance, maybe even was dilemma leg. So after that happened to me, I decided that I went to my dad and I said, Dada, I would like to join the company, hopefully take over eventually, but I want to help save other people's lives. The youth right now is growing at a huge number and percentage, and also there's a lot of underage drinking. And I want to save a community and as well as the youth, because the youth is the future. So I want to, with Mr. Tiso, fortunately that he gave me the opportunity to be able to work with him. So that was my main motivation, is that I need to save youth. I need to save communities, families. People are losing their fathers, their mothers, or makas, or makuli, or all based because of the fact that someone did not just take the self-initiative to check themselves if they are over or under the limit to operate a motor vehicle.
Was it easy to join the metro?
It was easy. I wouldn't say it was easy, because at the end of the day, when you're trying to do something this big and this type of a change, it's not that easy because other people have inculcated a culture of, but I don't need to know if I'm over the limit, or I don't need to know if I don't. So to have someone like Mr. Tiso that saw potential in the product, and as well as myself and Lumo, he did make it a lot more easier because Mr. Tiso made sure that, okay, listen, we're going to have campaign activations from November all the way right through to February. And that's going to be for October Transport Month. And for that, we made a 21% reduction in road fatalities. And those are stats from Mr. Tiso himself. So I wouldn't say that it was easy for myself, because it was mostly Mr. Tiso helping me get through through to the end.
Let's bring in Mr. Tiso in this conversation. Mr. Tiso, does their involvement add value to your work?
Yes, it does. I met his father, by the way, Uweza. It was not the first time to meet Tibano Praweza. We have been working while he was still then at VW. And then when he told me about this concept, I said, Praweza, it's a good concept. Then I can sell it to the management so that we can buy from you people, and then we can be able to start something. Because in traffic law enforcement, there is 3 E's that are very important. That is education, enforcement, and engineering. Otherwise, they 4 now, but I will stick to these 3.
Yeah.
So we lack the most in terms of educating. So I took it as if this, as a head of law enforcement, we need to get into it and educate people so that people can understand. Even if we go to court, we can easily say to the prosecutor, look, prosecutor, we have done this to assist our members of the public. So when you find a person guilty of this, so just add more so that he can get into jail. It must not be an easy thing that you get to drunken driving and then you're out easily. Because when the court asks you, what measures have you taken so that you can be able to educate people about drunken driving? This is one of them. And this helps a lot. And by the way, with his permission, this, when they came with it, I will demonstrate. And he is going to also to add on that. And then we went out. I must take this opportunity and say, the Methodist Church of Southern Africa, under Bishop Leleki, was one of the persons who came to our rescue and we say, we want the church to be involved in this.
Good.
He lifted his hand and said, I will be there. He was there from our first campaign up until today. When we need him in any vehicle checkpoint, he's there. And he knows how to use this. Even when we went to school, we went with him. Even when we went to churches, Methodist churches.
Even his congregants know.
Even his congregants knows this.
Yes.
And I went to Zwede, I went to Utenek, and I went to Motherwell because of him. So I have to say thanks to him as well.
Yes.
That then, it's something which is motivating when you see a bishop leading this, because some of them, they say, not in my church.
Yeah.
You can't talk about alcohol. But the same people that is preaching to are drinking alcohol.
Let's face reality. These things happen. So even the church leaders must open their doors.
Exactly.
So just to take this, what is important here is this piece of paper. This piece of paper will tell you that no alcohol when it's yellow, under the limit, over the limit. But how do you know that? You use this, I was taught by them. So you take this, and then you take that out, and then you press on this side as well, and then you take this one out, and then it remains like that. And then once it remains like that, then you blow into this. Now it's full of air. You take white to white, there, and then you squeeze. Now where there is a circle that is red, you look there thoroughly. After squeezing, then you take this thing and then you look at that color. It means I'm not drunk. It's yellow, it means I'm under the limit. There's no alcohol in me. But once it's green here,
you're under the limit.
You are over the limit.
Over the limit.
Yeah, once it's there yellow, it means then I'm under the limit. I can drive and process.
When it is green.
When it is green.
So when there's different shades. So when it's light green, still under, but when it's dark green, it's over the limit. That's why the memo's here, so you can check or compare.
Yes. So it means then what is expected of you. But we can't use this to arrest you on the public road. It's for you to test yourself before you get into the vehicle.
Okay.
That's what is good about it.
Yes.
Hence, we worked hand in hand with them. As much as we bought the product from them, we say, let's come in. Even if we're stopping vehicles, we'll do whatever we do. We'll demonstrate to the motorists and then we'll give some. And then Lumo will also do the same. Because sometimes once a person see that I'm addressed by a young person, and then he's listening more than to say I'm addressed by old person.
We will go for a commercial ad break and then we will come back again and talk more about these breathalyzer, self-test breathalyzers. Let's go for a commercial ad break. Sibuyile kakhona sisekunya nazo indwendwe zethu umhlekazi Eric Thiso policy likhulu lezendlela lapha kulomandla kaMandela kwakunye naye umhlekazi osikunye naye umhlekazi uMos unathi ngegama. Guys, masinamkele kakho, welcome back from the ad break. Just explain to us the importance we have demonstrated, how someone can get these breathalyzers.
So, Ngenhlanhla, we have been working with Lumo to make sure that as breathalyzers are available in stores. So, as of end of last year, we were onboarded by Pick n Pay to start selling the breathalyzers at the Pick n Pay stores. So ngoku we're still doing our final last touches. I had a meeting namhlanje with the Pick n Pay, to be exact, actually, just to finalize to take the final boxes so that breathalyzer yona can then be sold at stores. And so qala at about 10 stores in Port Elizabeth and Eastern Cape, and then from Apo we'll go to other regions. But it's very, very soon, in the next month, you'll find them kwa Pick n Pay.
Here in Nelson Mandela?
Here in Nelson Mandela, yes.
To selected Pick n Pays or all of them?
Not all of them, they are selected ones. And xa ziphumile and selective, so we'll share it on social medias and make sure that everyone is well aware about the product. That's which stores specifically they are available at.
As a metro, Mr. Thiso, how do you promote these breathalyzers?
We bought 5,000.
Yes.
And then after we bought the 5,000, every time we're having a vehicle checkpoints, I've got a team that will say, after we check your vehicle, and they will say, Mr. Lemani, this is a product. We give it to you for free. But how does it work?
On behalf of the municipality.
On behalf of municipality.
Good.
It's part of our education. So that you cannot say this municipality does not do anything to prevent. So this is one of our prevention measures that we put in place to say, take this one, we'll demonstrate in this one, and then this one you can give it to your partner. Even if you don't drink, give it to your friend, give it to your uncle, give it to your sister, so that he can test himself. So by doing so, we are writing a stats. Every now and then we've given so many boxes, to so many areas. And then once then the quarter, for an example, as you have said that we started in October up until January, then it helped us in the metro then that it brought down the number of drunk driving. And then we said fine, but then we had to look, the people that we have arrested, are they the visitors in the metro or are they the residents of the metro? That we also analyze. And then we find out, okay, fine, we have arrested, for an example, 50 visitors, but from the metro we have arrested 30. It means this thing is working. But it's not the end of the world. Even in our next financial year budget, we're still going to take more. As I have said, we are planning to visit more churches. Even once people are going to the stadium, but those who are operating vehicles, that is our target as well. So once they are going to the stadium, we said, okay, this is what is happening. Can you be able to use this product? And then ask your friend that you are traveling with. Because remember, in a soccer game, people are traveling from too far. So when they are here, and then we issue to them, those taxi drivers, the bus drivers, that test yourself so that you can be able to save lives that you are carrying. Because remember, at the stadium, people become excited, then they drink, the driver also drink. And then at the end of the day, we don't want to lose those people.
Okay. Another people that they need to know about this are ordinary citizens, those who doesn't drive cars, pedestrians, by the way. Though there are a lot of people who are pedestrians and also who are also affected by the habit of walking and drinking.
I love that question. Sorry, before I give it to you. Hence, we went to schools. You know, once you teach a child, you teach the whole family. When the child arrives at home, he will tell his father, he will tell his mother, he will tell his uncle that this is a product that we got from school. And how it works in this way, to test yourself. So that message then from school, we know, is spreading like wildfire. But we're targeting primary school as well as the high schools. We did not yet reach the others, but our aim is to reach most of them, so that this message could be the order of the day.
Including tertiary institutions.
Exactly.
Yes, 100%. And I think I would also like to add on what Mr. Tiso was saying. We, as Luma, one of our objectives is to make sure and get the product itself to be gazetted. So that it's available for an example, you go to the traffic department to go renew your license disc, you get a breathalyzer there. If you go to a doctor or a clinic or a hospital, you can get your breathalyzer there. The same way that they do it with condoms, we want to do the exact same thing with the breathalyzer, because the advantage of the breathalyzer is that it's a universal language. So you can speak about it at churches, you can speak about it to kids at schools. You don't have to have a PG wording or phrasing when it comes to compared to e-condoms. You can't go to a car and taking condoms, but if you go to a church and you tell them, bomama, bomutata, makulu, tamkulu, nazi breathalyzers ndicela ndiyazi nizohlala endlini nithi isoporo yenu ichiefs izodlala namhlanje, ndicela xa nizohamba ke ngoku from loo ndawo niziteste before ningene emotweni okanye niziteste before uzohamba. So the motto is to drink and you test and you decide. So when you have your drink, you're going to drink your drink, and then you test yourself, and then you decide and make the correct and responsible decision for yourself.
Mr. Moss, if you don't mind, I think we are about to conclude our conversation. If you don't mind, can you please stand up?
Yes.
I just want to tell us about what is written in your apron.
So here is for social media. So when we go on our campaign activations with Mr. Tiso and other sectors, we make sure that we try and capture the attention and make sure we leave you questioning things. So our is social media. Here took our Instagram. And it will also be on other platforms like or Facebook. And this is the actual product itself. So when I was saying that you must drink and you must test and you decide, this is where it comes from. It's the motto Ekalumo. And this is our company name as well. And this is our link for a website, which is www.lumosa.co.za.
Wow.
Yes.
I don't know whether our camera operator, did you take a shot on this www.lumosa.co.za?
Yeah.
Can you lift it up, Mr. Moss, please?
There we go.
Okay. Okay, that's beautiful.
Thanks.
That's
Thanks a
beautiful.
lot.
Your last word, Mr. Tiso, around your campaigns with Lomo.
Yeah, we are so excited that there are people that they can look beyond to save lives on the public road. People tend to think that this is a responsibility of law enforcement agency only, which is a wrong perception. I cannot stop you not to drink. You can stop yourself not to drink. The only thing I will do is to check you if you are over the limit. So that's why I say, if you don't respect yourself and you don't take a proper decision about what you are doing, don't cry to me and tell me about your children.
In essence, Mr. Tiso, everything starts with me.
Exactly, as what the Minister of Transport said.
I must take a full responsibility of myself.
Exactly. Yes. Don't shift the responsibility once you are arrested that these guys don't love me. These guys hate me. It's not the first time they arrest me, no. When I'm leaving my house, I'm not saying I'm looking for Mr. Laman. I just stop any vehicle on the public road. If you happen to be over the limit, then I will deal with you.
Let's leave it there. Your last words?
Nothing that I could say that's different, but the main thing is the fact that
Correct.
To change a culture and to change something, you have to do it over 21 times. So what I'm trying to say is, to be able to get into that culture, it's a mindset thing, it's a self thing. Habits is wrong, and you do it a couple of times, and you will actually get to see that change. And with the campaigns that we were doing, in numbers it dropped because of the fact that every day, every second day, every week.
Thank you very much, Mr. Anathi Luhlemos of Lomo Business, and you too, Mr. Eric Monwabisi Katiso. Nkosini kakhulu ngephulo lokukhusela ubomi. That's it. We have come to an end of our interview with Mr. Eric Tiso and Anathi Luhlemos, who is VOB Voice of the Bay with myself, Percy M. Now I am joined by Mr. Nkululeko Mantana, our political analyst. Mr. Mantana, siyamkela.
Manibulele kakhulu, Mr. Laman.
Wow. The Luthuli inquest. Chief Albert Sizodilelwa Luthuli, who died way back in 1967, who was the leader before O.R. Tambo, who died in a very funny way. He was crushed by the steam train way back 1967. Today we have heard a lot from the family members together with Mr. Jeff Radebe, who is also a leader of the African National Congress in KwaZulu-Natal. Your take on Luthuli inquest?
Yes, I'm sure many people, they know Chief Albert Luthuli, who was the leader of the African National Congress, as you have already said. But now we're talking about the inquest on the allegations that he was knocked down by a train. But there are many people who query that, whether that happened or not. So that is why today there is this inquest, Yaga Luthuli. Mr. Jeff Radebe has already taken the stand on this inquest. But I think what we need to ask ourselves is, whether, I know the family would like to know what really happened. And many of us would really know what would really happen. But one would have thought that maybe from the first 5 to 10 years, the African National Congress or our government after 1994 would have dealt with this inquest, not only of Chief Albert Lutuli's
And the
inquest.
Mklenges.
Yeah, and the Mklenges and others. You know, now, the African National Congress as a ruling party is not going out of power, but is out of power because it is 40%. 40%, that means we didn't reach the threshold. Threshold 50%.
Are you trying to ask a question, why now?
Why now? I'm trying to ask why now. Not that it's why now. I still, Chris, there must be inquest about them. But I think that for the ANC as an organization, if it loved its people, that would have been a priority from the start to say, these first 5 years or 10 years, we'll set it aside to do this inquest. You understand? I'm sure maybe they were overshadowed by reconciliation by our former President Nelson Mandela. I do not know. But one must ask himself again, Ugothi, yes, these inquests are going to take place. They are going to take years. What if, we know that other people have died already. What if there are those who are still alive? Will the ANC government arrest those people? And in this situation that we are in, this black and white situation of the AfriForum, the solidarity and all that, will they take it lying down that those people who did that maybe, if they are found, will they be arrested? I mean, we know from the Zondo Commission and all that. We had the Zondo Commission and all of us were really looking forward on the Zondo Commission, but we know what happened now. So hopefully there's something that is going to happen about the inquest. Otherwise, I'm not against the inquest. The family wants the inquest, and people of South Africa, I'm sure they are also interested in the inquest.
And another thing that is very much interesting, according to Mr. Jeff Radebe, he also mentioned that Chief Albert Lutuli was a threat to the then government of apartheid.
The African National Congress as a whole at that time, Mr. Laman, was a threat to the to apartheid government. You also remember when Nelson Mandela came from his African tour, before his release, I think in 1962 or 63, he was released after he has consulted and gave a report to Chief Albert Lutul. So he was respected, and even the government was afraid or scared of him as a leader of the ANC.
Let's move on and talk about the death of Pope Francis, who was very biased to the poor people across the globe.
You see, the Pope, Mr. Lamani, he included those that were excluded. He fought for peace. He was an ally of the global South, Africa included. We know that in 2015, I think he was in Central Africa, where he went to the mosque and spoke about a peace, and he told the congregants that he was against hatred. And you will remember in 2023 as well, he spoke loudly about ETRC, the conflict in the DRC as well, and the Southern Sudan.
Yes.
So Pope is a person who was really a bridge. And you will remember J.T. Vance, he just visited the Pope recently. But the Pope didn't say, because he was in front of the Vice President of America, he didn't hold his words to say that he was still adamant to say what is happening in Israel with the people of Palestine is still wrong, and he still believes that there is a genocide against the people of Israel, of Palestine.
So that's how he had a good, a sound relationship with our continent of Africa.
He had a sound, exactly, because he didn't discriminate between those from Europe or from the West to those that are in the continent. He also loved this continent. He was also a bridge to those that hate our people in this continent.
Some are saying now is the time to have a black pope. Is that possible? Because we have seen some names that are circulating on social media where we see Fridolin Abongo of DRC, who is also among those who are contesting for the position.
Well, I'm subject to correction. I think the first black pope we had was Pope Victor, and it was the first during the first millennium. But to say that we're going to have a black or white pope, it depends. Let me take you to the sequence, because I'm sure that is very interesting.
Yeah.
The sequence from now, what is going to happen until the end, until they elect the pope. What is happening when the pope dies? The first person of contact is called the Camerlengo. The Camerlengo is a chamberlain of the Holy Roman Church. That a cardinal is the steward good transition of electing the pope. So he's the first person in contact, and then he contacts the dean of a college for the cardinals. That's what is done. So that there is that protocol and ritual with the Vaticans and the death of the pope. And now this person, he serves, that is the chamberlain of this church, of the Roman Church. He serves as a spiritual leader as well as the administrative power. So he is the one that now is steward everything. He is the steward of everything that is happening now. Then he will stand next to the body of the Pope in that ritual, and then he will call the Pope, that is the baptism name of the Pope. You say the Polfic name, the baptism name of the Pope 3 times. So once, twice, thrice, and then they will be silent. That once, twice, thrice is in the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. And then there will be that silent. Now that means that is the confirmation and the declaration of the death, something that we don't see. It's their ritual. Now they are declaring now the Pope as dead. What is happening next? Then next, what is happening? Then the cardinals come. There is the cutting of the ring of fishermen. You will see the Pope has got this golden ring. This ring is a symbol of authority. Now all the cardinals, they gather together and then they cut this ring. It's a ritual. It's called the ring of the fishermen. And then between the 4th and the 6th day, that's when the Pope must be buried. That is why the Pope died on Monday and the Pope is buried on the 6th day. That is Saturday, not beyond. But after the burial of the Pope, at the same time, the mourning does not stop, because the mourning must take 9 days. That 9 days of the death of mourning of the Pope is called the Novem Dialis. The Novem Dialis. That is the 9th day. The Pope must be buried on the 6th day, and then there will be a 9th day Novem Dialis. After the 15 days, all the cardinals, they go to the chapel. They gather there. No cell phones, nothing, prayer. They take the oath, and then they are now about to elect the new Pope. They take the ballot box, and then after the election of after they have elected the Pope, and then they burn those papers, and then there will be that chimney out of the chapel. Then the black will symbolize that they have not taken the decision. Then if you see the white Pope, many people, they are waiting for that white smoke. That symbolizes that the Pope has been elected.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nkululeko Montana. For now, we'll go for a commercial ad break and continue with our show after the commercial ad break. Monsieur Venkle. sikhakhona ngokuba kunye nathi sesiqola siqukumbele inkqubo yethu emveni kwemini yangecawa i-VOB Voice of the Bay with myself Percy M. Mr. Montana, masikwamkele kwakho mhlakazi wam.
Yeah, thank you very much.
National Commissioner wamapolisa uvumile into yokokuba ubomi buka Deputy President no President bukhuselekile kwilizwe loMzantsi Afrika. Ezo ngxelo zivele emveni kwendaba zokokuba uDeputy President Paul Mashatile kwinyanga ephelileyo ukhe wafumana ukuhlaselwa ehamba nabalindi bakhe. His car was attacked. We don't know the motive behind, but his car was attacked. But the question that everybody is asking, why the government was so silent about this attack of the Deputy President's car. Is there anything wrong?
Yeah, you see...
because the ANC, according to the Deputy President, he confirmed that the ANC has issued a statement around this. But others are saying, why after so many days?
Yeah, as you may be aware, Mr. Lalman, is that this incident, I think, happened on the 30th of March. And we only learned about it, I think, the previous Sunday, that there was this incident. You see now, there are conflicting views about all this. But whether there are conflicting or no conflicting views, I think, but all what we heard is that Colonel Mangena confirmed that this incident happened. So it's not about what I think or what I believe. It's for me just to condemn what had happened. I don't know what had happened. I think that's what was strange to me from the African National Congress. Just to condemn, nobody is saying it's because of the 2027 or 2029 elections, but just condemn the criminality of what happened or what had happened. So, but other people, they are delving into issues of 2027 that maybe is this conference that is coming, or they are not even trusting what whether this incident had happened or not. So, but to me, it's not about that. As an organization, it's like if you are the head of the administration of sometimes, hey, this person, I don't trust his sick leave. His sick leave certificate, I don't trust it. But it's not for you to say that if you don't have evidence. You understand? You trust it until there is another information to the contrary. So until there is an information from the police or from the investigation to the contrary that this didn't happen, or it depends what the investigation will say. But all what the organization needs to do, it needs to grow up and be matured to condemn the criminality, whether he was going to be robbed, whether it was a robbery attempt or an assassination attempt, it's irrespective. But now if the report says, really those were not stones that hit the Deputy President's car, those were the bullets. So from that departure, I think the ANC should have said something. Yes, today, recently, they have said it, but I think it's too late.
Some people are asking questions, why this must be a responsibility of the ANC, not the government, because the president, the deputy president and the president are the leaders in government.
You are correct. He is the deputy president of the country as well as the deputy president of the ANC, that is the organization. I think both sides should have said something. They have said something during the conference in Northwest, Dr. Zamani South, but you can hear from his speech that he is even doubting this incident. At the end, he said, yeah, it happened, but he doesn't think that it's because of the 2027 elective conference that is coming.
Any case number so far? Or this matter is under investigation?
Yeah, it's under investigation because this matter has been confirmed by Colonel Mangena from the police.
Let's move on and talk about Zelensky's visit early this week in South Africa. Who invited him? What is the purpose? What was the purpose of his visit?
The invitation of President Zelensky from Ukraine has been coming from last month. I think the president of South Africa invited him because he wanted to mediate between war, Russia and Ukraine. And now one can ask himself whether South Africa has got the capacity to mediate the war between Ukraine and Russia. Why am I saying that? It's because the war, Russia and Ukraine, I can say it's complicated, but not complicated at the same time. I'm saying it's complicated in the sense that by now we know that between United States of America, the EU, and Russia, everybody is looking for a piece of pound in Ukraine's flesh. Everybody is looking for something. USA already, Trump wanted Zelensky to sign a deal for minerals. Russia is saying it's not going to give any territories, so it wants those territories. So EU is saying we also have invested in this war, so we want something. Now, what is South Africa bringing to the table? Where, yes, President Cyril Ramaphosa has phoned on Monday President Putin from Russia. Now there is this visit, but what can he do? Because your mediation in this war, you need to say to Zelensky, man, take this deal from America and don't worry about these security deals security measures that you want. But now I don't think South Africa has got a capacity at the end. That is my conclusion. So I really don't think so. It has a capacity.
Ngomhlekazi, Mr. Nkululeko Montana, who is our political analyst. Before we wrap it up, ANC conferences at a provincial level and at the regional level have started. We have seen the Northern Cape conference where the leadership under Dr. Zamani was re-elected. ANC conferences have started. Wow.
Yes, when you talk about conferences, you must know well, in Northwest, congratulations to Dr. Zamani Sauls, who is now going to third term, and he is also saying people of the Northwest, Nombutho wakhe is showing confidence kuye njengenkokheli because bayamnika third term. But you know, these conferences, as Babin Sichom says, ziza nochuku because everybody wants into bangabana abesenda win.
We've got only 1 minute. Do you think Mr. Oscar Lobabalo will get his third term?
It is possible. He still has a following in the Eastern Cape. Yes, there are those people who don't like him, who don't support him. But I think like the last conference where he was contested by Matikizel, I think he still has support.
Your take on Babalwa Lubishe, who is leading in the region?
Oh, you see, there is nothing wrong with Babalwa as a mayor, but there is something wrong with the organization because I know they are rushing for these conferences because everybody wants to kick Babalwa Lobishe out, but you can't single out Ubaba Lobishe, no, we fail. Ubaba Lobishe is working with a team. So, and everybody wants to be a mayor, and you know how this region is. You know how this Nelson Mandela Metro is.
Mr. Nkululeko Montana, inkosi kakhulu ngexesha sinike lona mhlekazi.
You're welcome.
Fikelela esiphelweni njalo ke nenkqubo yethu i-VOB Voice of the Bay. That was Mr. Nkululeko Montana, our political analyst. Ngolo hlobo ke masahlukane kwinkqubo yethu i-VOB Voice of the Bay till we meet again next week Sunday between 4 and 5. Igama lam nguPercy M. Ngomso sisedingeni kwinkqubela FM between 6 and 9 in the evening. Adios and happy Sunday.